What up YouTube? My name is Jordan Lance and welcome back to Redeye Racing. If you're new to the channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, even hit the bell. Alright y'all, today gonna be a crazy video, super excited for it. We're gonna decide, or at least go through my top 3 choices of which next car we're gonna buy. I was gonna say supercar, but not all of them are considered supercars. They are super awesome cars to own, but they might not be considered a supercar. So I'm very excited. I'm pumped. I know I made the right choice in letting the GT500 go. It will be missed sorely. I'm sorry if I broke some hearts in that last video, but I know I made the right choice. I'm getting too much money for the deal that I'm making and selling the car. So yeah, sorry to anyone that wanted to see it built, but we're bringing something crazy to the channel and I can't wait to go through my top 3 options with you. So we're gonna head over to the whiteboard, go through all the stats and the numbers, the horsepower, the pound-feet of torque, the price range, how much they weigh, all that good stuff. But let's run through the options right here, right now. So number 1, we got a Lamborghini Huracan. Absolutely iconic supercar, has a naturally aspirated V10 behind you while you're driving, which sounds incredible. You put an exhaust on that thing, it sounds absolutely insane. We would be looking at the 2015 or 2016 year model, which would be somewhere in the 600 horsepower range. You can't go wrong with that body, that styling, just an iconic supercar. And yeah, that is one of our options. So option number 2, which would not be a supercar, which would be an absolutely awesome sports car, is the Porsche Gt3 Rs. It has a flat 6 502 horsepower engine, around 3,100 pounds though, so very nimble, an awesome interior. It's just a beautiful looking car. It just reminds me of a go-kart that you can just whip around the road course. It is incredible on the road course, beats cars that are much faster than it because of its ability to get in and out of corners. And that would be the 2016 year model. There's a 2019, which is well over 200K. We would have to get the 2016 and then potentially throw a supercharger on it, pro charge that bad boy, would be really cool. So that is option number 2. And option number 3 is a McLaren 570S. And we are looking at all different McLarens from the 2016 model year all the way up to even 2019's. Just a beautiful car. I mean, McLarens are some of my favorite cars. They're very rare. You don't really see too many on the road, even in Los Angeles. You see Porsches everywhere, obviously, and Lambos I've seen probably 3 in the last week. Have not seen a McLaren for months, unless I went to Sunset GT. But just driving on the road in general, you don't really see McLarens too often, so that's something that I like. Yeah, and just a car's made of carbon fiber. It's 3,100 pounds. It's got a twin turbo V8 mid-engine with a downpipe and exhaust. Can sound incredible. It doesn't sound too great out the box, but just the pinnacle of speed. So really wanted to get that 720S, but unfortunately the bank said I had to put 100K down if I wanted a 720S, so we're not doing that. But hopefully by the end of the year, in the next couple years, I'll be in the 720S price range. But yeah, let's head over to the whiteboard, look at the numbers exactly, and we'll check it out, make a decision. Let's go. All right guys, we are at the whiteboard and we have our 3 options here. We have the 2015-16 Lamborghini Huracan 610-4. We have the 2016 Porsche Gt3 Rs and the 2016 to 19 McLaren 570S. So we are going to run through some of the numbers here. The Lamborghini puts out 602 horsepower and 413 pound-feet of torque through a naturally aspirated V10 5.2 liter engine. The Porsche Gt3 Rs puts out 500 horsepower, 338 pound-feet of torque through a flat 6 4-liter engine. Now, the McLaren 2016 to 19 570S puts out 562 horsepower, 443 pound-feet of torque through a twin-turbo V8 engine, which is 3.8 liters. Now, if we compare just the horsepower numbers, the Lamborghini puts out the most horsepower, but the McLaren has the highest torque. And if we jump into how much each of these weigh, the Lambo weighs 3,650 pounds. The GT3 RS weighs 3,131 pounds. And the McLaren weighs 3,186 pounds. So if we go by power to weight ratio here, the McLaren is going to win. Only 3,186 pounds, but putting out the most torque and near the highest horsepower here. So each of these cars runs a version of a dual clutch 7-speed. The Porsche is with a PDK transmission, which everyone raves about and says it's the best transmission. So the GT3 RS is going to take the win on the transmission, although I'm pretty sure all of these transmissions are just fine and shift very, very quickly, and all are automatic, so nothing to differentiate there. What else do we got? Okay, so if we get into the drivetrain, these two cars, the McLaren and the Porsche, are rear-wheel drive, and the Lambo would be an all-wheel drive that we were looking at. So this would be cool to have all-wheel drive, something a little different, not have to worry about spinning, which we are always worried about spinning with our GT500 or our redeye. You know, that's always a big problem. But at the end of the day, I love rear-wheel drive. It's fun to spin the tires. It's fun to be able to do burnouts. Just turn your hat backwards, go crazy in it a little bit. You know we love that. So at the same time, it would still be nice to have a rear-wheel drive car. If we get into the MPG, which you know we're not really concerned about, we come over to the Huracan. It's going to give you 14 city, 21 highway, which I have heard averages out to 10. So I think these are pretty overrated in terms of MPG. A lot of people are saying it gets horrible gas mileage. So if we go over to the Porsche Gt3 Rs, you're going to get 14 city and just one less highway at 20 highway. Then you're going to go to the McLaren 570S, which should get the best gas mileage because of those twin turbos that only come on under boost. You're going to get 15 city and 22 highway, which I've heard if you cruise, you can actually get better than that. But these are the numbers from the manufacturer. Now, if we take a look at this, you got to throw in the fact that this car right here is pretty rare in the sense that they didn't produce as many as some of the other cars, so the value stays pretty high. Like Porsches just don't depreciate, which is kind of weird because they look like a 911 looks like all the other 911s out on the road. Unless you're really a car guy or girl, then it's really kind of difficult to differentiate. Even if you got a GT3 RS, it just looks like you got a 911 with the spoiler on the back, you know? Unless you got the badging on the side that says GT3 RS, which was only available on the 2019 models, if I'm not mistaken. So, but you got to take it into account when you're buying a car. This will not depreciate as much as this or this, most likely. Actually, this one will depreciate the most just because McLaren keeps coming out with a newer car every year, and they're just like pushing the envelope of technology, which is awesome on one hand, that they keep making faster cars and better cars, but then on the other hand, it makes the value of the older ones go down quicker. And this is a Lambo. At the end of the day, Lambo is going to hold its name. It's not going to depreciate as fast as maybe some other cars. Now, it does start out as the most expensive car, so right there kind of tells you. This is going to be around 175 to 190K. Definitely more in the range. And this one, 145 to 195K, I would lean more towards the 2018 Spider or 2019. Unfortunately, the Spider is actually about 120 pounds to 150 pounds heavier. So, you know, we like that speed, going fast, so we're probably leaning towards a coupe. But a lot to decide on, guys. Let me know down in the comments section what you think, what you want to see. Honestly, leaning towards the GT3 RS, putting a supercharger on it, going crazy in it. Obviously with the McLaren, you could throw downpipe and tune, you can upgrade turbos, high flow filters, billet, turbo inlets, and kind of go crazy with there. There's actually a WiseTech 900 package, which would be absolutely insane for this guy. Then you got the Huracan. You know, you could come over here, throw a VF supercharger kit on it, a Whipple supercharger kit, or you just go crazy, go twin turbo on it. So all would just be incredible cars to own, incredible builds. We were looking at some Audi R8 V10s, which were more in the 140. There was even some for 130 out there. But just didn't do it for me, honestly. If it was going to be that naturally aspirated V10, for me it's got to be the Huracan. It can't be the R8. Even though some of the newer models are cool looking, for me it's just a little too heavy, not as much enough race oriented for me. Whereas, you know, this car is built out of carbon fiber. It's pretty much only race. This one is just absolutely a terror on the road track. And then, you know, this is a Lambo. It's got this. It's the same thing as R8, but it's the real version, not the fake version. You know, the little brother. So, no offense to my R8 owners, but for me, these three cars in this price range are the ones that do it for me. Let me know, guys, which one is your favorite? Which one do you want to see on the channel? But yeah, that's all I got for you today. Jordan Lance, Redeye Racing. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.